I'm trying to figure out who the geese hissing at right now. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what they hissing at. I just fed them. You ain't gonna bite the hand that fed you, baby. Okay. So, hey, y'all. Welcome back to Alchemy Doctress, y'all. With me, Doctress Monica Nicole. We are here with another conversation. Let me put this time in here real quick so I remember. Okay. We're here with another conversation, as you see with the title. Blessed is the child with a loving grandmother. And my grandmother and my grandfather visited me in my dream last night, and I wanted to have this conversation today. Woke up feeling really, really good. If you haven't already, check out the link to this week's class inside of the Butterfly Effect School of Transformation. If you're a member in the school already, you have access to all the classes every week, as well as we have our group hypnotherapy past life regression this weekend. Oh my gosh, our Zoom sessions, all that jazz. So feel free to check that out down below. The class is on Thursday. And this one is getting into unlocking your subconscious wealth codes. So this is about to be a really, really good one. This is one that I utilize with my clients, with my coaching clients, and it has shifted them drastically. Okay. Okay. I even use it with myself. As a lot of you all know, I'm going through a 6-month transformation thing that I started on my other YouTube channel. So those who are following along with me, hey y'all, hey, I'm working on editing the vlog for that one now. Um, and so, okay, this conversation, my grandmother came to me in my dream last night, and the dream was very like, I was very like magical. I was able to do things that was not normal for people to be able to do, but I was seen as like being weird. And so there's a specific part where I'm not going to share all the other stuff, but this part right here, where I was out at like this gathering with a group of people. Well, it was like a small group of people. And this guy came up to us and he said, if I was y'all, I wouldn't be here that much longer. Inside the building where all the people and stuff was at, I immediately got this feeling of like something about to pop off in here. Either it's about to be a big fight, something is about to pop off inside this building. And so the girl was like, okay, well, let me go in and get my friends or whatever. And so I went back in with her, and it's just like she kind of just sat down and just started enjoying herself. Like she wasn't leaving. And I'm like, I think I'm going to still head out. And so I told another person there that I was there with um, about it. And they did what they did. And I said, well, I'm about to go. And so I left and I went to my grandmother's house. And I remember sitting in the living room with her and my grandfather. We were just sitting there talking. And I was sitting there, I was like thinking in my head, like, oh my gosh, what if they ride by and they see my car outside and they try to, do something to my grandma's house? And I immediately felt like I'm safe here. I'm safe here. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't touch me here, whether my car is here or not. Like they can't touch us here. This is safety. This is solid ground. This is solid rock energy. And so that's how grandparents are, for those who grew up with grandparents who were loving. So great, thankfully, I was born with one, two, three, four. I met four of my grandmothers living, and now I have one grandmother living still, and we don't have the best relationship, but I'm at peace with that relationship because once upon a time, before she got so jaded, I remember who she was. I remember who she was before she got so jaded, and I prefer to stay remembering her as that Aunt Janetta, um, 444. And so yesterday, I did my niece's hair because she's going with her grandmother for the week or whatever. And so as soon as she got with her grandmother, baby, she started getting princess treatment. Okay, I mean she get princess treatment with us too, but like she's super spoiled with her grandmother. And the thing is with grandmothers, oftentimes they see their grandchildren as like another chance, right? As another chance, another opportunity. Um, my grandmother on my dad's side, she treated me like I was her daughter. She always called me the daughter she never had. Um, I was the one granddaughter who didn't have like, I wasn't living with my mom. I was living with my dad, and so she was like my mom, you know. And so thinking about how a lot of my traits I've taken from her, and that's why like in high school and in college and even now I've always been like that. I always seem to be older than what I am, like wise beyond my years, or I've been that mentor, that counselor, all that jazz, because I was raised basically with older individuals. And that's a blessing to have a grandparent in your life that you can get that type of wisdom and information from. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people take for granted the wisdom that can be grasped and learned through connecting with, you know, your grandparents and things of that nature. And I understand everyone doesn't have a good relationship with their grandparents. You know, some grandparents are, you know, a little mean, a little evil. You know, my great grandmama, she didn't start being nice to me until it was close to her being on her deathbed. And for the first time in my life, she told me that she was proud of me, baby. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I was working on my master's. And that was the first time I ever heard her tell me that in my whole life, you know, because she was kind of like mean to our side of the family. Well, to the lineage of, ooh, these mosquitoes, to the lineage of like my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? And so she was like really mean. Ooh, I'm gonna need these mosquitoes to. Mm-mm. I'm gonna change that topic. But I say that to say that although she wasn't nice to us, we also had cousins that she was nice to. You get what I'm saying? And that's one of the beauties about having multiple grandparents, because you may not have a good relationship with one and you have a better relationship with another. Or one grandparent may, y'all, I'm over here moving like I'm, because I'm trying to keep the dang on mosquitoes away from me. um, they already got me right here, and then one was trying to get me on my arm. And so the one that you feel the closest to, there are others who may not feel close to that one. You get what I'm saying? And life is so freaking interesting, but it shows how soulmate energy works. You know, a lot of us, our grandparents were our soulmates. Well, one of our soulmates, in a way of how we were able to cling and learn and just enjoy being around each other. You get what I'm saying? Like you were really like good friends. You know, one thing I learned from watching grandparents is that they tend to, and some may not always realize this, where it seems like they treat one better than the other. But one thing I noticed is that grandparents tend to try to do things to overcompensate where they feel there's a need. So, for example, with my grandmother, I told you she tried to overcompensate with me because she felt, because I was the only grandchild that didn't have my mom in my life at that time, right? So she was overcompensating for that. And then the fact that I only stayed a few houses down from her, I was always there because my dad worked second shift. You get what I'm saying? So proximity and all of that played a role. Then when I look at other grandparents, that same thing where they have a little bit more favoritism towards, you know, other grandchildren for whatever reason that may be, right? And then when I noticed it happen with my dad and how he is with my niece, because my niece is the only one who doesn't have her dad in her life. So he steps in extra, but what he noticed was that some of, well, one of my nephews, um, have mentioned to him one time, like, why you always just take, you know, my sister and not me or all of us. Like, and so my dad was doing that in a sense of like to overcompensate for the need that she had because he knew she was gonna all the other kids get to be with their dad, right? And then the other kids took it as he had favoritism against them with her. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes we may not always understand why something is done, or even with grandparents, they have a capacity of how much they can give, you know, how much they can do. And ooh, and it's always been so interesting to me to see how the dynamics have always been so different between relationships. So, for example, my grandfather, me and my sister, there's one goose left over. We are like this, right? He got us whatever we wanted, and but ooh, I think it got me, and I sprayed myself. Let me go get my stuff again, child, and spray myself some more. These mosquitoes just coming from all walks of life, child. Okay. But anyway, so my grandfather made sure to um really be there for my sister and I both. You know, he bought us things, bikes, Christmas, like everything. He made sure we always had what we wanted and needed. And you know what's so interesting is that when he got older within life, and he was in the nursing home, it was my sister and I who was always there to see him or to help my grandmother while he was in the nursing home. You know what I'm saying? And so it was so interesting seeing him in my dream last night too, because typically he's not in my dream because he's not our blood grandfather, you know, but they got married. Oh no, it's not spraying anymore. I broke the spray bottle, y'all. They got married while we were like really, really young. So that's who we knew as being our grandfather. Okay, so I do have a citronella candle. We're gonna let that go. Did it get me? It did. I don't understand how these mosquitoes be getting me like this, child. Is anyone else like that? Where like you have this sort of sweet blood or something? That's what I've always been told is that I have sweet blood. And that's why mosquitoes are always like coming for me or whatever. But I feel like it's not fair. Because what did I do to deserve this? Okay. What did I do to deserve this? I'm just trying to talk about the grandparents. Okay. That's it. So the thing with grandparents, okay, and the grandparents' love, I can guarantee you that if they have multiple children, there is a good chance that their relationship with their child is not the same as what it is with the grandchildren. There's something there in that relationship that is different and it's not the same because a lot of, oh my gosh, all these bumps are big too. A lot of grandparents, in a way, kind of see having their grandchildren as like an opportunity to get it right, to do something different and to get it right this time. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that they're saying they feel like they made a mistake with their children, but it's one of those where I can take what I learned from being a parent and like be even more for my grandchild. You know what I'm saying? It's something about how we had this relationship with our grandparent, and then we have children. We kind of become, when you're in a role of a caregiver versus someone who's just there to love on you and be extra, there's a difference in that relationship. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, my grandmother on my mom's side, she took my siblings in after we were taken from my mom, and her relationship, and that's when our relationship started to fall apart because she was very abusive, um, emotionally, mentally, verbally, physically. And it was hard to watch her be that way with my siblings. And I resented my dad because I would say things to him and he would like turn a blind cheek, like he didn't see certain things or whatnot. And so now that I'm older and, you know, she just crossed me one time in my adulthood and I'm like, I'm straight, right? But now she wants to have a relationship, but I'm like, that ship has sailed. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's leave it at what it is. You work on healing and fixing your relationship with my siblings, and that be what it is. You feel me? But the thing is that I feel like she starts to notice how she was harder on my mom than she is on her son. And that then trickles down to the judgments and things of that nature. And so she became her mom, the person that she resented that was mean, she became her. Now, the thing with my great grandmother, she wasn't always like that. I lived with her my first year of life because my mom lived with her. Um, and so my first year of life was in her home. And she's a feisty woman. Okay. She was a feisty woman. Um, but just seeing how things can be like generational, either we can choose to be like those who are before us, or we can choose to try to do or showcase something different from what we know or from what we've experienced. You get what I'm saying? um when it comes to our grandparents, oftentimes they choose to be what they wanted or what they wished they had, right? But that's not always the case. But when it is the case that grandmother's love is with you. Oh my gosh, it's with you. Like I said, my grandmother has now been gone for, I can't believe y'all, it's been 6 years. Still feels like yesterday. She still comes in my dreams. She still shows herself at different spaces in my life of letting me know that she's here and that she's around me and that she's a guide, you know. That's a grandmother's love. I take that back. I no four. I was about to say, was it four grandmothers that I knew? Yeah, it was four, because her mom was, you know, down here, and so I only got a chance to see her once a year when we came down for the family reunions. But and so her mom, my dad, and all them, they loved coming to see her when they came to come visit and stuff, right? And so it's like seeing the generational excitement with grandmothers. I don't know if some of the butterflies here are getting ready to become a grandmother. That could be what it is. Um, but it's something about her love being like a blessing from above, you know, and for anyone who had an opportunity to experience that, like, you are divinely blessed. Now, I'm not saying if you didn't experience it that you're not blessed. That's not what this is about, okay? But I'm talking to those who did. And I'm telling you now, you're extremely blessed. You have the opportunity to gain information and knowledge. You have the time to be in the presence of a great. What lessons, what stories did they pass down? Did they have for you? What did they go through? What did they have to experience? I remember it's like a couple years before my grandmother passed away. I brought her down. We came down south for a family reunion. It was her last time coming home, and so rode her and my auntie around, and we went to their old house. And this was the house that was closer to the road, which was still like a mile. And they had to walk this. But when they were younger, it was a house further into the woods that my great grandfather had built. I knew my great grandfather too. Um, and so I got a chance to take them to their old home. Let me see if I can pull it up. And seeing the look on her face and in her heart, I could tell she just had so many memories and things from that time of her life, you know. And when her and her sister started sharing like how they would have the chicken coop and have to get the chickens and wring the neck and stuff to be able to get the meat to cook for dinner, um and like all the things they did on the farm, and you know, things of that nature that she taught, you know, us growing up. Like we were seen as being like the bougie part of the family because we were the family, we're the up north family. Okay, like his whole family is down here, but we were the up north family because we were part of the ones with the great migration. um, and the thing with my grandmother, which is so interesting, is that she, you know, a lot of us don't realize that our grandmothers, um, they got married to some older men. You know, my grandmother didn't finish high school. She ended up finishing high school after she got a divorce. It was during that time, somewhere around in there, but she finished high school as an adult because she got married before. I'm trying to see if I can pull up this picture. I should have made it no, I should have made it to where it's like a favorite on here. Let me see. Hmm. And I know it was during this time. It's not showing up on this phone. Okay, so yeah, I'll find it eventually and I'll show y'all one day. But anyway, it was basically a picture of them in front of their childhood home and just their experience with it all. Like it was just, we never know what our elders have gone through and what they've experienced. You know what I'm saying? That love that they be giving us a lot of times is that love that they wish they had, that they wish they had received, but didn't. You know, it's not all the time, but it's a lot of time. It's not all the time, but it's a lot of time. And so I'm gonna leave this here. I was hoping I could find this picture, but of course I don't have it on here. It's not coming up. And I was just looking at it not too long ago, but I guess I was supposed to like save it as a favorite or something. And I didn't. So now I can't. Wait, let me see. Hold on. I need to organize the pictures inside of my phone, child. I think if I do that, ooh, yeah, because it should be. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I'm about to find it. Hold on. See, it used to be in this folder. It literally used to be in this folder. So maybe this is my grandmama saying she don't want to be she don't want to be seen because wow, any other time that would show. So I'm gonna take it as I'm just not supposed to show a child. And if it comes back up and I'm meant to show it, then I will. And we'll just take it in that way. Oh, look at me when I was a little baby. This was me at my grandma's house. I took a picture in the same spot that I was in as a little baby. Oh, this is my first niecey poo. She's older now. My baby's a teenager now. Everybody say she looked like me, like I could be her mama. But I feel like she looked like her other auntie. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here because I do not have this picture. It's not showing up, and that can't be nothing but my grandmama because I promise you that picture was in here, and I know I didn't delete it. So I'm gonna just take it as what it is. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't know that you can choose like the places, like they break down it by, well, break it down by the places where pictures and stuff are at. Oh, that's so interesting. Anyway, okay, let me get off of here, y'all. I really wanted to show y'all this, but now it's showing all the stuff from all my videos and when I was in Africa, when I was in Kenya. This is really blowing me right now because I know I did not delete them videos, y'all, and those pictures. If y'all still here listening to me ramble right now, I send y'all many blessings tenfold because I've been sitting here rambling trying to find these dang on pictures, and y'all been waiting on me to find them, and I can't find them. That ain't nothing but my grandmama saying I don't want to be found. Okay. And that's what that is. It ain't nothing but her saying she don't want to be found. Because any other time, that's the first thing that pop up on my screen when I open up the thing. And I know it wasn't the I'm trying to see something, y'all. This is my last take. And if not, I'm gonna just have to go through and reorganize. Okay, wait, hold on. I think I found it. I think I found it. Because we have a family cemetery too. Okay, so you know what's crazy? I found the weekend where everything is at, but it's not showing like the house per se. So something about that picture is missing, because this is the road that we had to drive down to get back into the house. Down a deep what's the name, dirt road. And then it's my auntie, the auntie that I went to go visit. And then we have our family cemetery. So she got a chance to see her mama and her daddy at the grave. I don't know where the picture at, y'all. So I think that's my grandmama saying she don't want to be found. That's the only thing I can think of, her saying she don't want to be found, child. Because I am not seeing no pictures nowhere up here. And I know they up in here. So she done hid them things, child. She said, you ain't about to show that. I don't want to be found. Okay. That is so wild. That is funny. All right, y'all. I'm about to get off of here. And as always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self or your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.